This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of Phatts TV, sanctioned by PA Phatts and the non-genetically proven Sun. Any and all words have been authorized during the show. There is nothing off limits. Nobody is restricted from watching or participating in the show. It is a free-for-all. Commencing at the siren, any and all discussions will be legal for an extended period of time. Sports, politics, and any and all controversial topics will be talked about. You have been warned. May God be with us all.
And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this special edition of Phatts TV. It is just after 12:15 here in the afternoon, November the 4th, the day after the election here on the East Coast. So if you're watching me from the East Coast, good morning. If you're watching me from anywhere else in the United States, or if you're watching me from the East Coast, good afternoon. If you're watching me from anywhere else in the United States, good morning. So it's amazing what one 8-hour work shift could do to votes. When we signed off last night at about 3:30 in the morning, again on the East Coast, President Trump had roughly a 110,000 vote lead in Wisconsin. He had almost a 300,000 vote lead in Michigan. Then all of a sudden, these mysterious mail-in votes come in the middle of the night. You know, we were told at about 2:15 last night that there was going to be a dump from Milwaukee County of their mail-in ballots at 3 a.m. Then at about 10 after 3, when that didn't happen, it mysteriously came out and said, it's going to hold off till 5 a.m. Why? Why do they feel the need to hold it off another 2 hours? And then all of a sudden, when it came out, bam! All of a sudden, Joe Biden had the lead by about 10,000 votes. How does that happen? How in the world does that happen? Now, supposedly all the counting is now done in Wisconsin, and Biden won by a little less than 21,000 votes. So you have to tell me how that happened. Doesn't make any sense, does it? It doesn't make any sense that all the other mail-in votes came in, with the exception of Milwaukee County. I mean, let me refer you to TargetSmart. Here's TargetSmart for the state of Wisconsin. The blue is this year, 2020. Now, we have to look at modeled party, because if you go by registered party, you get nothing. You just get unaffiliated. So we have to look at modeled party. And what we're looking at here is an analysis of early and absentee voting. Democrats, in the analysis, Democrats only had roughly 32,000 vote lead. So you're going to tell me that basically all around Wisconsin, their early voting numbers were out and they specifically held off Milwaukee County till the end? Does that seem logical? Does that seem like something that a free and fair election would be like? No. It doesn't. Which, by the way, reports are now showing that more than 100% of registered Wisconsin voters voted. How'd that happen? If registered voters are 2,500,000 and 2,600,000 votes are cast, how'd that happen? Very interesting, isn't it? The same thing could be said about Michigan, but it's actually even worse in the state of Michigan. Donald Trump had a huge lead. Then all of a sudden at about 10 after 7 this morning, almost 140,000 votes for Joe Biden just mysteriously showed up. Like there was a big dump from the Detroit area. 100,000, it was like 139,500 and some odd votes. All of a sudden they appeared. And every single one of them was for Joe Biden? None of them were for President Trump. None. Zero. Absolutely none. Is that really statistically possible? Again, let's look at Target Smart. And by the way, Target Smart is left-leaning. It's not right-leaning. So in the state of Michigan, can we look at registered party in Michigan? No, we can't. So we got to use the model party. Look, again, Democrats 42%, Republicans just about 39%. For a difference of 100,000 votes. So once again, you're going to tell me that the rest of the state came in? And then all of a sudden, all of the votes from Detroit just happened to show up? In the middle of the night, or in this case, in the very wee hours of the morning? Does that really sound logical to you? There's also several reports coming out of Maricopa County in Arizona where people were giving Sharpie markers to fill out their votes. The machines can't read Sharpie markers. So their votes were disqualified in Maricopa County, Arizona. Which, by the way, I read a report this morning on Twitter that Maricopa County and the state of Arizona is all of a sudden back in play. It was called by Phatts like very early last night, called by the AP at about 2:45, 3 o'clock in the morning. And now all of a sudden it's back in play. I mean, even the New York Times has it now under 100,000 vote lead for Joe Biden. And the one thing I'm seeing from a congressional representative out there is actually the lead is below 10,000. So all of a sudden Arizona is now back into play after it's been called. Does that sound logical to you? The state of Nevada. All of a sudden in Clark County, they just stopped counting votes. Just stopped. Clark County is the biggest Democratic stronghold in the state. The state's in play. It's only about 20,000, 25,000 vote difference. Let me pull it up. Okay, so we're talking about 7,500 votes. I actually saw it a little bit closer this morning. But they stopped counting in Clark County. which is the biggest Democratic stronghold in the state. Why would they stop counting? The governor said they're not going to start counting again until tomorrow. Why? Why? Why can't you finish the count? It's not like there's, millions upon millions of votes in Clark County, Nevada. What's going on? Can you see what's coming here, ladies and gentlemen? For months, President Trump has been telling you the only way he loses this election is if it's stolen from him. Now, I would like to think as an American that that's not possible. That America, the United States of America, is not a third world country. At 12:25 in the afternoon on Wednesday, November the 4th, I'm not so sure about that anymore. We may be no better than a third world country. We can't count our votes correctly anymore. There's this much corruption going on in our election system. When does the common man wake up and say enough? The French fought a revolution 300 and some odd years ago to overthrow corruption in the monarchy. Is that what we need to do in this country now? Huh? Do we need to have American Revolution Part 2 and purge the government of elites? It's coming to it. Again, you don't want to think it, but it's coming to it. Pennsylvania, the state I'm in. Our tyrannical governor says, oh, there's still way over 1 million votes to be counted. Okay, fine. Fine. Why aren't they being counted? I was told last night this is my Facebook page. I was told last night that the vast majority of those mail-in ballots that are still out are from the following counties: Beaver, Cumberland, Franklin, Greene, Mercer, Monroe, Montour. Mercer, 73-25 for Trump. Beaver, 71-27 for Trump. Greene, 82-17 for Trump. Montour, 73-25 for Trump. Monroe, 62-37 for Trump. All of these counties where the supposed mail-in ballots are still out are Republican strongholds. But yet they think Biden is now going to win the state? How could that be? He's still down by 500,000 votes, and you're telling me, you're telling the whole world that the vast majority of the counties that are still out in the 1.4 million mail-in votes are from those 6 counties. Those 6 counties even said yesterday, we are not going to start counting the mail-in votes until today. They said they were doing all of the election day votes first, and then they were going to count the mail-in votes. mean, Trump is even getting 21.5% of the Philadelphia vote. That's 6% more than he got 4 years ago. Biden is short 8% of what Hillary was. Now, there should still be 1 to 200,000 votes still out in Philadelphia County compared to other years. But if that's the case, that still doesn't get him close to what he needs to overtake Trump in Pennsylvania. When I went to bed last night, Donald Trump was up in Chester County. Now all of a sudden, Joe Biden's up by 20,000 in Chester County. He's carrying Luzerne County by even more than what he carried it 4 years ago. Lackawanna County, he's carrying less, but you kind of expected that being supposed Joe Biden, supposedly county where he was born in. Yeah, he was born there. He didn't grow up there. Democratic officials said that he was going to carry Allegheny County by 150,000 votes. He's carrying it by 55, not even close. This state is over. It's done. If everything that came out last night is the truth, Pennsylvania is done. You got to call it for Trump. It's over. There's not enough votes out there, assuming what we were told last night is the truth. But why aren't they counting them? Why are they holding them back? Do you see what's going on here? They're holding it back just in case if something happens in Michigan and Wisconsin and Arizona that they flip again. Pennsylvania is supposedly the Democrats' firewall to protect them. But the numbers bear out completely different. Are we going to stand for this? Seriously. As a country, are we going to stand for this? Now, I've never been the kind of person that says, he's not my president. I didn't like Obama one bit, but I never said he wasn't my president. Joe Biden even said a couple days ago, I do not need you to elect me. I only need you to support me once I'm elected. Or, I only need you to support me once I'm president. What is he trying to tell you there? Does he know something that we don't know? It certainly seems it. In the state of Arizona, all of a sudden, it's only 93,000 vote lead for Joe Biden. Supposedly, there's a bunch of votes still coming in from the southeastern part of the state. There is not a stone cold chance in hell that he should be leading Maricopa County. Donald Trump carried it by over 100,000 votes last time. And now you're going to tell me that Joe Biden has swung the county by almost 200,000 votes? When poll after poll has shown Hispanics are breaking for Trump at record numbers? How could his count among Hispanics be up in every state and every county across the United States except for Maricopa County, where it went vastly the other way? Does that make any sense? Does that pass your smell test, ladies and gentlemen? It shouldn't. It shouldn't pass your smell test at all. It looks like Republicans are going to pick up somewhere between 5 and 10 seats in the House of Representatives. How in the world are you going to pick up seats and lose the presidency? Really? Does that make sense to anybody? Let's go back to Target Smart for a second. Let's look at the state of Pennsylvania and see how many early votes were cast in the state. Basically 2.5 million. 2,502,000. 2,503,000. On the state's website, we're at 1,000,005. So there's still 1 million votes out there. And Joe Biden is down almost 500,000 votes. So they would have to break 3 out of every 4 for Joe Biden to catch up. But again, the news last night said the 6 remaining counties that hadn't even started counting their mail-in ballots were all Republican-leaning counties. Heavily Republican-leaning. Look, Beaver. Nothing yet. No mail-in. Nothing mailed in from Beaver. Mercer. Nothing. Nothing in Mercer. Greene. Nothing. Nothing from Greene. Montour. Nothing from Montour. Monroe. Very little from Monroe. Just starting to come in. 650 votes. The other county was Franklin County. Again, nothing. President's carrying Franklin County by 66%. If the news reports are right, that these are the counties that have the most of the 1.4, it's basically a statistical impossibility for Biden to win Pennsylvania. So something's not right here. Again, let's go to Target Smart. Let's count the votes in those 6 counties. I don't think we're going to get to 1,000,004. Beaver County, 20,000. Obviously, we're not getting to 1,000,004. Cumberland, another 51,000. Franklin, just another 20,000. Greene, just a little over 4,000. So obviously, you're not getting 1,000,004 from these counties. Mercer, $14.5. Monroe and Montour, $31. And just 3,000. So what are we at? Like 130,000? So obviously those reports are not even close to being accurate. So let's look at Philadelphia. 347,000. Let's just say 348,000 votes. Received 183. So there's still 160,000 votes out potentially in Philadelphia County. Still not even close enough to turn the state. Not even close. Let's look at Allegheny County. $340,000 mail-in votes. So there's possibility of another 150,000 out there. Still, those two added together, even if every single one of those votes went for Joe Biden, that's still not enough to pull ahead of Trump. There's something fishy going on. Let me peruse down Twitter for a minute. About an hour ago, the Georgia Secretary of State says it appears that Trump is going to win the state. It looks like Susan Collins is going to hold on to her seat where every poll showed her losing. Paul Gosar, who's a candidate for the Arizona 4th District, says that Trump is only down 10,000 votes. A lot of people are saying their vote got disqualified because they were given a Sharpie marker. Let me pull up something for you. I want you to see this for yourself. Here, I want you to look at this. This is what happened with the votes in Wisconsin last night. Trump leading, Trump leading, Trump leading, Trump leading, Trump leading. And look, all of a sudden, bam. All of a sudden, look at all these votes. These 160,000 votes all of a sudden came in all at once. Amazing, isn't it? You can't tell me for 1 minute that makes any sense. I mean, look at it again. Trump flatlines right here. And all of a sudden, Biden just goes straight up. How is that possible? How is that possible? I could show you the same exact thing, the same exact graph for Michigan. Then all of a sudden, Trump, Biden, flat lines, bam, straight up. How is that possible? The fix is in, ladies and gentlemen. The fix is in. If you care about this country, you better be ready to fight for it, because now it's going to be needed. We'll be back later today with another update.